ఏందే ఉండదు ఈరోజు ఇంకా బయటకు పోయి పండి
సో గైస్ మేమైతే సినిమాకి వెళ్ళిపోతున్నాం. సో గైస్ మేమైతే 3D స్పెట్స్ పెట్టుకుంటున్నాం. నాకు లేదు. నేనైతే 3D మూవీకి అయితే నేను 3D స్పెట్స్ పెట్టుకున్నాను.
కూర్చోండి నాని.
సో గైస్ మూవీ
Of the Pacific, there's a place unlike any other. Enchanted volcanic islands that are home to a remarkable collection of animals and plants. Here, evolution is proceeding with have only just been discovered. This is a place, Galapagos. Islands born of fire, with inhabitants that have transformed our understanding of the whole of life on Earth. The Galapagos Islands lie in the Pacific, 600 miles from the coast of South America. They lie directly on the equator, with its year-long warmth and sunshine. There are 16 islands and a multitude of small islets, all separated from the rest of the world by a huge expanse of ocean. They emerged from the sea as volcanoes 4 million years ago. This arid, volcanic landscape should be a lifeless desert. Yet here, strange creatures thrive. But how did life get here? The islands lie at the crossroads of two competing winds. These winds carried the earliest immigrants to the emerging volcanic islands. Blown across hundreds of miles of ocean, seeds, pollen, bacteria, and even animals. Some of the very first terrestrial pioneers to arrive here were spiders. They travel on the wings in a way that is all their own. They balloon. A spiderling climbs to the tip of a leaf or twig. There, it spins a thread of silk. This 3D electron micrograph shows that this thread is actually two filaments that are stuck together. It flattened so that the slightest wind will catch it. The spiderling lets go with its feet and is carried up and away. Some can float up to an altitude of several thousand feet. And up there in the trade winds, millions of years ago, some of them traveled these 600 miles to the Galapagos. Today, There are some 150 known species of them in the islands. But there's a larger animal that chanced upon a very different way of getting there. In the jungles of South or Central America, millions of years ago, some iguanas, or perhaps a pregnant female, were grazing near a river. Perhaps caught in a flash flood, they were carried out to sea. Reptiles are very resilient and can survive without food or water for long periods. After months at sea, they found themselves washed up here and have since come to symbolize the power of evolutionary change in these islands. In Galapagos, there was nothing but black rock. So, when iguanas first arrived, they had to eat the only kind of leaf that was available, seaweed. And to get the best of that, they had to do something even more radical. They had to swim. They even learned to dive. These are marine iguanas. They acquired the ability to hold their breath for up to an hour and to swim down to a depth of 60 feet. Their claws strengthened, enabling them to cling to the rocks on the seabed. And under the water, they found an endless supply of seaweed that grew in abundance in the nutrient-rich currents that flow around the islands. The black marine iguana is now a completely different kind of animal than its forest-dwelling ancestor. Over millions of years, they adapted to their new home. Their snouts became flatter to help them graze. And their mouths changed to incorporate their new seaweed-gripping teeth. Galapagos, for its size, has more unique species than any other place on Earth. Why? These islands provide an enormous variety of isolated habitats in which to live. And the reason for this lies beneath the Earth's crust. Here, there is a gigantic column of superheated molten rock rising upwards from the center of the Earth. It's this immense hotspot that creates these volcanic islands at the surface. Crucially, the Earth's crust is moving over the top, causing the islands to drift away from their volcanic source of origin. In the process, they change form many times. We can watch the remarkable life cycle of a Galapagos island by speeding up 4 million years into a single minute. Here it is, in its infancy. After a million years of eruptions, volcanic activity ceases. appearance, the island is approaching middle age. It has a moist climate and is covered by lush forest. It begins to sink under its own weight of ash and lava. It's battered by erosion, and after 4 million years, it's near the end of its existence. Low-lying and arid with little rainfall, it's surrounded by beaches of soft sand. The waves and rain continue to take their toll until all that is left is a craggy outcrop of rock. Millions of years of erosion have created protected coves, soft sand beaches that are the perfect place to raise young. Nearby, another creature uses the beach as a runway. The waved albatross. This giant of the skies, with an 8-foot wingspan, spends most of its life on the wing, traveling across the entire oceans. Here, they can rest and breed,